So, you didn't ruin all your friendships and you're back to finish the job. Sometimes in Commander, cards can interact in such a synergistic and powerful way, they can help you achieve infinite power! Let's take another look at Jeweled Lotus and see how we can break this card in EDH, and the video starts right now. Special thanks to our Patreon supporters who power our channel. Check out our Patreon for monthly giveaways, exclusive content, and even a starring role in our fan fight series. Link in the description below.
For a limited time only, if you join the Patreon at any level, you will receive a holographic Jake and Joel Are Magic logo sticker. Link in the description below.
Hello and welcome to the day. Thank you for spending your time with us. Welcome back to another episode of Jake and Joel Are Magic. We're going to get into Jeweled Lotus for a second time and go over some of the combos that I've found since that first video was posted and some of the combos that you suggested to me in the comments of the first video. But first, if you would, go down there, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button real quick. It helps us out so much, more than you can know. Let's talk about Jeweled Lotus. So like the first time around, there are two things that you need to keep in mind as we go into this video. One, we're going to be living again in magical fantasy land, where we get the opening hand that we need every time perfectly, and it's just wonderful. And the second thing is that we are going to once again use Jeweled Lotus to try and power out some commanders, power out some cards, and with these ridiculously statistically impossible hands, either win the game or lock the game on turn 1 or turn 2. Let's look at some of the combos. So starting here, we're going to open with Najeela the Blade Blossom. Najeela is the, I would say, main character in a lot of very powerful commander interactions already, and we're going to see how quickly we can pull off an infinite attack combo. So here we go. First thing we're going to do, we're going to play Lotus Petal onto the battlefield, we're going to play Jeweled Lotus onto the battlefield, and we're going to play Mox Opal onto the battlefield. With the 3 artifacts, 1, 2, 3, we can right now tap the Mox Opal and we're going to float a green mana. Then we're going to tap Lotus Petal, sack it for a white mana, and then we play Ancient Tomb onto the battlefield. Lotus Petal was sacked for white mana, now we've got Ancient Tomb, we've got a green floating, we've got a white floating. We're going to tap Ancient Tomb, take 2 life, but be able to play Fabro Elder with the green and the white on turn 1 with the 2 colorless mana from Ancient Tomb. Then we're going to tap and sack Jeweled Lotus so that Najeela the Blade Blossom can come onto the battlefield on turn 1. This is important because we need both of these creatures able to attack, and we're going to do that on turn 2. So the first thing we do is we untap Ancient Tomb and Mox Opal. We do need to draw a land here, and we do happen to draw the land that we need magically. I wonder how we did that. It's perfect magical fantasy land. Ancient Tomb for 2 mana, wastes for a 3rd. That's going to let us play Spined Thopter, taking the 2 damage there for the Phyrexian mana on the blue mana symbol, and Vault Scourge, which we're going to take 2 damage from using the Phyrexian mana on the black mana symbol, and that's going to give us all 5 colors across permanents we control. What that means is that we'll be able to attack with Najeela, attack with Fabro with Vigilance, and once it is declared attacking, we'll be able to tap it for each color among permanents you control at a mana of that color. Then we'll be able to activate Najeela's ability, untap all attacking creatures. They gain trample, lifelink, and haste until end of turn. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase. Activate this ability only during combat. So after that damage goes through, these untap, and we do that again infinitely, and we have an infinite amount of attacks from Najeela and Fabro Elder. So with that first combo, unless your opponents are able to remove either Fabro or Najeela, you're going to win on turn 2. Let's look at eliminating one player on turn 2, and that's with Dargo and Jeska Thrice Reborn as your partners. These are from Commander Legends. Dargo the Shipwrecker says, as an additional cost to cast this spell, you may sacrifice any number of artifacts and or creatures. It costs 2 less to cast for each permanent sacrifice this way, and 2 less to cast for each other artifact or creature you've sacrificed this turn. So we are able to play him on turn 1 as long as we've got Mountain, Soul Ring, and Jeweled Lotus in our hand. We'll play the Mountain, we'll play the Soul Ring onto the battlefield, and we'll play Jeweled Lotus onto the battlefield. We'll tap and sack it to add 3 red mana. It's also going to reduce Dargo the Shipwrecker's cost by 2 because it is an artifact or creature we've sacrificed this turn. So it's technically 5 mana, so we only need 2 more mana to cast Dargo, for which we'll tap the Soul Ring that we played with our mountain. So Dargo's onto the battlefield on turn 1. On turn 2, we untap, we draw. It's a land for turn, doesn't matter though, because all we need is Jeska now, which we can already cast with the permanents that we put on the battlefield turn 1. Jeska's 0 ability, choose target creature until your next turn. If that creature would deal combat damage to one of your opponents, it deals triple that damage to that player instead. So we activate that 0, targeting Dargo. Obviously, Dargo's going to be able to hit for 21 damage. So we attack a defenseless opponent, and that opponent is eliminated on turn 2. This is the kind of one where it doesn't straight up win you the game on turn 2, but you put the most giant target on your head, probably for the rest of the night playing Commander. This is one you want to like do late right before you go home, and maybe just like do the combo, kill one opponent, and then grab all your stuff and run really fast. With all of these combos, we're already being ridiculously mean, so let's do an Infect combo as well. What we're going to do here is we're going to turn 1, play a Force, we're going to tap it and play Glistener Elf onto the battlefield. It's a 1/1 with Infect, and then we're going to say pass. On turn 2, hopefully that Glistener Elf hasn't been aced. We're going to play a second Forest, and we're going to play Jeweled Lotus. Jeweled Lotus is going to tap and sacrifice for 3 black mana. As you can see with Brokkos here, the mutate ability is green, either a blue and a black, and 2. So with that Jeweled Lotus that tapped for 3 black mana and then green, we can mutate Brokkos onto Glistener Elf on turn 2. Now it is a 6/6 with trample. We can then on the attack cast Invigorate. If you control a forest, rather than pay this spell's mana cost, you can have an opponent gain 3 life. Have the opponent that you're attacking that's defenseless gain 3 life, because it doesn't matter. We're going to do 10 infect damage by giving Glistener Elf, who's already a 6/6 with trample, +4/+4 until end of turn. And again, eliminate an opponent on turn 2, grab all of our stuff, and sprint from the house screaming wildly. So we've looked at a way to get infinite attacks on turn 2, and we've looked at 2 different ways to eliminate a single opponent on turn 2. So here we're going to look at infinite tokens on turn 2, and it goes a little something like this. Turn 1, we're going to cast Island, we're going to cast Jeweled Lotus, and we're going to cast Mana Crypt. That is going to allow us to tap, sack 3 blue into our mana pool, cast Emry, and we're going to be able to tap 1 and 2 here to cast Mirren Spy, and we have this set up on turn 1. So this combo does, as you get to turn 2 and you untap, require that you top deck an island. Oh, look, how lucky are we? At the beginning of turn 2, we're going to play the island, and we're going to tap the 4 mana that we've got for Efficient Construction. Efficient Construction says whenever you cast an artifact spell, create a 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature token with flying. So then we cast Lotus Petal. Lotus Petal comes onto the battlefield, creating a 1/1 Thopter. We're going to tap Lotus Petal and sacrifice it for mana. We're going to then tap Emry, Lurker of the Loch, to recast Lotus Petal onto the battlefield. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, you may untap target creature, and since we're casting another artifact spell, we create another 1/1 Thopter, and you do this infinite amount of times. This is going to allow you to get infinite mana that you can use how you'd like, and it's going to allow you to get an infinite amount of Thopter tokens that then you'll be able to swing with on turn 3. So the last one that I want to show you today only requires Jeweled Lotus, any land, a Mana Crypt, and a Soul Ring in your opening hand. We play Jeweled Lotus onto the battlefield, Mana Crypt, we play our land, tap it for the Soul Ring. So we have 7 mana total right there on turn 1 as long as we're casting our commander. So we tap, sack Jeweled Lotus, add 3 mana of any color, doesn't really matter, tap Mana Crypt for 2, tap Soul Ring for 2, and then you've got 7 mana, so you're able to bring Exodia onto the battlefield.
I've assembled all the 5 needed cards!
Exodia is going to win you the game. Wait, hang on. This isn't right. This is the wrong game. Never mind. Don't worry about this one. Right before we wrap this up, I just wanted to point out, I know we were goofing around with Mana Crypt, Soul Ring, land, but if Jeweled Lotus was involved with this combo, we would be able to potentially play Golos on turn 1, and that would be an incredibly strong opening. That's a few more combos for Jeweled Lotus in EDH. Let's close the book. Thank you so much for watching. That first video, we had such a good time talking to y'all in the comments, so we knew we wanted to do a follow-up with 4 of our favorite combos that we saw, and one little silly combo there at the end. If you liked the video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It helps us out so much. We're trying to get to 10,000 subs by the end of the year, and you clicking that subscribe button gets us one step closer. If you want to support us even more past that, we have a Patreon. Link is down in the description below. Other than that, I'm tapped out, and I'll catch you later.